In Milan, Michigan, you'll find an 8th mile drag strip known as Durana Dragway. Today is the site of the IHRA's Outlaw Pro Mod Nationals. And as part of the weekend, we're going to have Mountain Motor and Top Sportsman competing as well. Hi, everybody. I'm Ralph Shaheen alongside Ken Stout and Tommy Johnson Jr. And Ken, we've got a huge weekend here at Milan, Michigan. 2 really competitive categories.
Yeah, I mean, when you take a look at the entire weekend, right, this is all about fast door cars. They are loaded up here. The Pro Mods, of course, but we're not going to feature those in this particular show. We're going to focus in on the Mountain Motor Pro Stockers, the naturally aspirated big cubic inch cars that'll be rolling the lever all the way down through the 8th mile, of course, and then the Top Sportsman cars. I mean, these things are rocket ships, but they're going to get the shoe polish out, they're going to put a dial-in in, and they're going to be deadly on both ends of the track. If you want to win that one, you better be good.
Tom, you better bring your A game.
Boy, the Mountain Motor Pro Stock class has put on such a show this year. It's tight racing. It's the driver involved. You got a great race cars, and they're really close. The driver has to be on the tree, and the Pro-Am, Top Sportsman, those are some fast hot rods as well.
Let's head down to the track and get into the action. Let's head over to the PA now with Brent and Chad.
We are heading into, I'm going to call Top Sportsman, final 7 cars. First pair up here. That is Mark Claypool and Rob Harvishak. Harvishak on the left side in that absolutely stunning looking 69 Camaro with a Bruzy transmission and 632 cubic inches of big block. Dialing it 479, just a touch quicker. That is the Jerry Bickle built Corson Racing Engines Dodge Dakota of Mark Claypool, dialed 468.
Big block nitrous combo over here in the left lane, and that 69 Camaro. 604 cubic inches of Hemi over there in the Dakota in the right lane. That Dakota was originally built as an IHRA Pro Stock truck and would have had a 358 cubic inch small block in it and a 5-speed. This is going to be a good pair.
Quarterfinal action here in Top Sportsman. 7 left in the field. And both of them are way green, but somebody is way better. Claypool was 003 on the tree and goes 468.7. 10 total for Claypool. Harvishak mathematically ineligible from the let-go. He was 45 up front. Claypool was 10 total.
Dude, goes 45 on the tree and then runs 79 on a 79 dial. He was dead on 5, but it was all decided on the starting line. Matt Gregory, or Grigor, as we've been calling him, and Jonathan Vesper in the cool Chevrolet Cavalier over there in the right lane. 632 cubic inch big block Chevrolet and 540 cubic inches out of New York in this 66 Chevy 2 Nova in the left lane.
469, even dial-ins. And they're even on the let-go. They're 17 and 18. And looky there, Matt Grigor goes 470. Vesper went 471, and they were 1 thou apart on the starting line. So margin of victory, 9 thousandths of a second for Matt Grigor.
That was a heck of a drag race right there and a fun one to watch as Mike Badia pulls up next in the 96 Olds Cutlass over there in the right lane.
Does this look like this could have been 90s Pro Stock right here?
That's literally what I was just about to say. As there is a 92 Olds in the left lane of Ken Langlois. These two are both 632 powered and both huffing a bunch of nitrous. But one of them, Badia, is dialed a 436. Langlois, 452.
Yeah, and you got a Profab built Cutlass on the left side, a Haas Cutlass on the right side. Attention in the pits, attention in the pits. 64 car shootout, we need you back. I think we're down to 8 cars. It's time for you to make that turn. So I need my 64 car shootout back as Langlois and Badia stage them up. Langlois in, and here they go. Oh. I saw the move as the tree was going down, and I said, that's surely going to be red. And it sure was. Langlois says, don't call me Shirley, but I was red. 28 red up front, goes 453. The right lane went 440 with a 005 for Badia.
Badia is a bad, bad man, and going to be one to watch tonight.
And with the bye run to the semifinals, the single for Justin Souders, 69 Camaro out of Louisville, Kentucky. He told me this morning that he had only made 4 passes all year before this weekend.
Wow.
And now here we are down to 4 cars in the top sportsman shootout.
Didn't know that was
I
a
love it.
combination.
So he's down 427. Got Charlie Buck on the hood scoop of that Chevrolet, 632 cubic inches, and you see the purge. We're here, and it's all the way up above that center shade for the starters.
You're wasting my nitrous.
Maybe you can put a little thing up over the top and catch it as it goes up.
Okay.
You'd give it a shot, wouldn't you?
I would.
So Souders, 427, gets to use it as a test pass. Let's see how close he is to that 27 number.
30 on the tree, not great, but it's okay. Driving it out the back, 425.4 on a 427.
So Souders moves on to face off against Matt Grajor.
Oh.
And the top half of the ladder, Mike Badia and Mark Claypool gonna face off in the semifinals.
Chris Powers coming into this first round, and winner here 2 weeks ago. The car has been running superb, but Strobe Lander, we saw him earlier, you know, and he keeps picking away at this car. Every run it goes down the racetrack gets a little better. So Chris Powers can't screw up, because Strobe Lander goes down the racetrack, he might just upset him.
Jerry Haas machine, beautiful looking car. You see some of the rules here for the Mountain Motor Pro Stock category. For those at home that aren't used to it, these are naturally aspirated power plants, meaning no power adders, no superchargers, no nitrous, no turbos. Powers bumping in with that Sonny Leonard powered machine. At the starting line, they were side by side. It was a great battle all the way through there. You're exactly right, Tommy, when you were talking about that. And that's what these guys at Mountain Motor Pro Stock do. It looks like they're all pace, but they keep making adjustments. And it seems like when they come out here for round number 1, they are on point. Both of them, 044 for Lander, 041 for Powers. At the other end, 418 for Landers, 415 for Powers. I mean, a great drag race, and the win by 33 thousandths of a second.
Yeah, I know Lander didn't win, but I think he's going to be happy with that 18. That car keeps going the right direction.
You just sent it that round to the next one. How are you feeling?
I feel pretty good. The track's really hot, so we kind of backed it off a little bit just to try to make an A to B run and not be foolish. So I'm pretty happy with the results. We'll put a little more in it for the next round when the sun pitches and should go 500-600s quicker.
And I just found out that this guy has a soft serve ice cream machine in his pits, and he may be bringing it up next race. Is that right?
Oh, yeah. The kids love it. They all come over to the last race. We had all that rain. They were all hanging out under the awning and ate about 20 gallons of ice cream. So,
if y'all can't find me, I'm in his pits eating ice cream.
Yeah, our new best friend right there, huh?
20 pounds. That's aggressive.
Trust me, we'll be able to find you because we're going to be there too.
We'll have more great IHRA drag racing from Durana Dragway right after this. Welcome back to Durana Dragway. We're here in Milan, Michigan, and we are ready to get back to the racing action on the 8th mile.
Next pair here in Mountain Motor Pro Stock. We'll find Murph lined up in the near lane. Mike Murphy out of Coral Springs, Florida, qualified in the 7-hole, and he'll line up alongside our number 2 qualifier, John Montecalvo. He was number 1 at the end of the first session, and at the end of the second session ended up in the number 2 spot. One of 2 cars to go in the 4.0s. 4.09 with a 1. It was a great session at the end of qualifying last night. Unfortunately, it looks like they're going to push Murph back here. Can't back up after the burnout. John waiting patiently.
Yeah, Murphy had some issues in qualifying, trying to work the bugs out of that car, and just they keep raising their head and keep digging away and trying to get them figured out. But Montecalvo waiting patiently over there to get that car out of the way and go out here and see what he can lay down.
Yeah, I think it was the first session where Murphy didn't make it down the track. I think he went up the return road. I remember seeing the overhead shot of that American flag. It's super cool. But they've struggled here a little bit this weekend.
And with Montecalvo, nobody has raced more events in Mountain Motor Pro Stock in the last 35 years than John.
He has been diligent in this category and a stable mark with the IHRA. Well, that thing just squatted and took off. Took it easy here on the tree, no pressure. 413 with a 4, 174 miles per hour. Nice lap here in the heat.
Well, if you want to know what a good-looking Mountain Motor Pro Stock run looks like going down the racetrack, well, that's it right there.
Yes, sub 1 second, 60-foot time. Another look here.
John Montecalvo had a little less stressful of a pass right there. What kind of data did you gain that you're going to use in the next round?
Oh, believe me, we go, like if anybody's lined up next to us or not, we're going for it. We have to. We're going for lane choice. Hopefully we were low ET of that round. I'm not sure. If we are, we get lane choice. We got Chris Powers next round, tough customer. And I just want to shout out to my wife, Lois Ann. She's sitting on the water having a cocktail right now while we're out here sweating our rear ends off.
Yeah, it would be nice being down there by the water having a drink, but hopefully you're going to take home that win and she'll be happy.
Exactly. I'll take the win over that cocktail any day of the week.
Congratulations, John Montecalvo, on a great pass.
Here comes Dwayne Rice, our number 1 qualifier out of Grove City, Ohio. Excalibur Race Engines has been running Mountain Motor Pro Stock since 1997, has also run 500-inch cars, has run in comp, was one of the first to go in the 6s at 200 miles per hour in Pro Mod. Another just extremely talented and seasoned race car driver. Jerry Haas car there, of course, as they fan some of the smoke out of the cockpit. Absolutely spectacular looking race car.
Got a little pretty good crew and some minds working on that car with Terry Adams and Tommy Lee that in their own right have made a lot of great Pro Stock runs.
4.086 was the time one night ago. So well, and goes 414, so Montecalvo will end up with low ET of the session, but Dwayne Rice right there with him at a 414, so it's going to be exciting.
Boy, I tell you what, 414, 413, 15, 15, what a class.
Love it, love it. Dylan Voss will be in the near lane out of West Palm Beach, Florida, will line up alongside Kurt Neighbor out of Ohio, the highly seasoned Kurt Neighbor. Beautiful red, white, and blue car.
Yeah, these guys come in here number 4 and 5 qualifier. Not much separating, 412, 415. We've seen Dylan Voss have some really good runs a couple weeks ago. We also seen Kurt Neighbor. Really, his program really come to life and headed in the right direction. Great job a couple weeks ago.
Bunch of championships won by Kurt Neighbor in a lot of different categories as well. Super Stock, Nostalgia Super Stock, World Champ, going back to 71 through 75 and 77. Won World Nationals at Norwalk back in 84. I mean, this guy's been all over the place. And he's got a hungry Dylan Voss sitting right beside him, and Dylan Voss is going to win it on a hole shot here. 4:15 beats a 4:14 by 1/1000th of a second, 11 ten-thousandths of a second. 0:16 at the starting line for Voss to an 0:21. Both of them on it, but it only takes a small amount to win.
That's what this class right here has been all about all year long. You're seeing such great close racing, and the Christmas tree is becoming so important, but they're not just getting a better light, they're getting a killer good light.
Stay with us. We'll be right back to Durana Dragway. Welcome back to Durana Dragway. Let's get back to the racing action.
We are prepping the track here now, and as we are doing that, we have put together some great interviews courtesy of our Kayla Zadell. And without further ado, we're going to get it over to one of those interviews with Kayla and one of our great racers out here, Kurt Neighbor.
I'm in the pits here with Kurt Neighbor, who is racing Mountain Motor Pro Stock. And Kurt, I want you to tell us how long you've been racing for.
60 years. I started in 1965.
So we're coming up on, what did we say?
60 years, yeah. 58 years, to be exact.
Now, can we tell people how old you are?
I'll be 78 in 2 months.
Well, happy early birthday, but I want you to tell me how you got hooked by racing, or this is what you knew that you wanted to do.
I was growing up and going to school. I really had no direction, and I got my driver's license when I turned 16. Got behind the wheel of, my brother gave me a 1955 Mercury he bought for $22. I got behind the wheel of that. I drove around the block, and that's all I want to do the rest of my life is drive cars.
Now tell me about your journey to Mountain Motor Pro Stock, because you were talking about you've raced a lot of different types of cars.
Yeah, I started off with just an ET bracket car, and then I ran some IHRA races through the 70s. As a class car, we'd have to race. You have to eliminate the class guys in your class Saturday, and you were able to run an eliminator Sunday. Only the winners did. And I did that for about 8 or 9 years. Dragway 42. I won a track championship in 1977 at Dragway 42. And then we went on to a super gas car or pro gas. I went and bought my own car, went to the dealership in 1979 when the first Fox bodies came out. Bought a car that evening, drove it home, cut it all up, and made a super gas car out of it.
And then how did you get into this Mountain Motor Pro Stock car?
I got a crazy notion I wanted to go alcohol funny car racing because that was a big thing back then in '85. Went down south, bought a chassis, and a rolling chassis, and Jim Dove Manufacturing had all the core boxes that make FE engines, and he had all the camera core boxes. So he allowed me to borrow the core boxes. I made my own blocks, I made my own heads, put my own engine together, and ran an alcohol funny car with a camera in it for 5 years. The guy from Michigan called me, and he wanted me to build him an FE engine. So I built him a 427 engine. He said, well, can you put it in the car now? Okay, so I bought the car, I put it in the car. He said, well, I've never drove a race car. Can you drive it for me? Okay, I got behind the wheel of an 11-second car and won a world championship with it the next year.
Wow.
And then I just got better and better. And when I was super stock cars, I got a super stock A car and a super stock C automatic car. I won the U.S. Nationals class elimination class for super stock A 3 years ago. So I got one of the big Wallies. And before that, I was building camera engines after the funny car. And I contacted the 5 guys who had the original AFX Comets that Ford Mercury made in '65. And I says, I'll build you an engine at cost. So the engine that you will have in the car will be the original engine again, like it was, instead of a Cleveland or a Windsor or whatever the hell I had in them. Yeah. And they all agreed to that. I built the engines, gave them all the engines, they put them in the cars, and I've never seen one of those cars since.
Oh my gosh.
Now they're too valuable to take out, so they're stuck in a corner someplace.
Yeah, yeah.
So I got upset with that. So I got a carcass from California, brought it back here, and made my own AFX car, and a clone of the 1965 Comets with an injected camera with the Hillborn injection from 1965, a 2-amp magneto, and put the car together. the options I had for Nostalgia Superstock was a straight axle or stock front suspension. I didn't want straight axle, so I retained the stock suspension. I just moved the engine back till it fell behind the shock towers, put the high firewall behind it, put the car together, and in 2011, NHRA was the co-sponsor of the NMCA. They actually have for 2 years, they took the contract for NHRA to run their program. And in those 2 years, in 2011, I won 3 other national events. I got 3 Wallies, and then winning 3 events, I won the championship for the year, and I got a World Championship Wally also from that car. With a Ford-powered Camry engine. The only one in the world did it.
Yeah, yeah. Very cool. And then now you've got this Mountain Motor Pro Stock car, and you're racing this weekend. And I was going to ask you, what keeps you coming out here? But it really just sounds like drag racing itself has kept you going through all these years.
I never wanted to fail in anything I took on in my life. And so I made a promise to myself, if you're going to do this, don't give up.
Yeah. I love it. And now how did you come up with the design for your car?
I wanted a flag over it, and I wanted a Cobra on the side, so I contacted somebody for a wrap. And I gave them the information what I wanted. I wanted a flag over the top, and I wanted the scales of a snake on the side. I didn't realize till after I had the decal on that the scales are pointed the wrong way.
You know, if you never told me that, I might have never noticed.
No.
But you know, and I love Cobra Mustangs, so this is very cool.
And I had a great opportunity. The Gliddens called me about 2005, 2002, and they needed somebody to drive their other car.
That's like once in a lifetime opportunity, right?
I literally said hello to Bill twice in the pits.
Yeah.
And he said, I need to drive the other car. And so I drove that car for 3 years, won 10 national events for them, won them considerable amount of money. The first race we went to was a doubleheader. I never drove a small block car. I never drove a car with a power glide. I never drove a car that shifted at 10,000. And I never drove a car with nitrous. I went out there and won both events.
Wow, so it sounds like you're just a born natural drag racer here.
Well, it took a lot of coaching from Bill and Shannon and Bob. The 8 or 9 years I helped them throughout that racing and the pro stock racing gave me the education to be able to do this. I can't thank them enough.
That's awesome. Well, thank you so much, Kurt. I appreciate your time today, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, ma'am.
Again, this is Kurt Neighbor, who is racing Mountain Motor Pro Stock this weekend, and I'm Kayla Zadell, and this is Beyond the Track.
I'd like to thank IHRA and Daryl for the great facility provides for us, the great atmosphere, and you really feel like you want to go racing now.
Stay right here. IHRA competition coming right back from Durana Dragway. As we get into this great day of racing here, we've got big money and some incredible competition coming in our Mountain Motor Pro Stock cars.
A beautiful warm summer day, exactly what we would expect, exactly what we had here a couple of weeks ago. So a lot of players are used to these conditions, and it's showing. We've had better times than we've had here a couple of weeks ago. We had incredible qualifying just one day ago, 3 sessions. We saw the times fall and fall and fall last night, as we would expect. And then, of course, everybody comes out here in round 1.
How about Mountain Motor Pro Stock? That class has been so good of racing. Killer ET, killer reaction times. We have a 413, a 414, a 415, and another 415 for the semifinal round. Unbelievable.
It's going to be wild, man. Big money on the line.
Oh, it is. And along with that big money comes big ego and big glory, right?
Let's go over here to Mountain Motor Pro Stock. We find Dylan Voss alongside your #1 qualifier and Dwayne Rice. Last time out here, Dwayne Rice with a bye run, put a 414 on the board. Dylan Voss a 415. In case you're wondering about the other two, 413 and 415. So everybody in here in the semifinals is very, very capable. And unfortunately, this went over right at the hit. red by 29 thousandths for Dwayne Rice. The number 1 qualifier is out. Dylan Voss, actually a tick early as well, but it was first to the red light battle, and that happened to be Dwayne Rice. 4:16 and 4:15, both cars right there, but Dylan Voss will go into the final round with a 4:16.
Yeah, watching him pull up on stage, you watched Dwayne Rice roll right in. He was in it. He was ready to go, and just a little too early on the starting line. Both of them were ready to go. And once again, only 100th second difference in the ETs. They both knew they had to be on the tree, and just a little bit too quick.
Dylan Voss, what do they say about the red light? First is the worst, and guess what? You were second, so you're going to the semis. Now, what do you think about this matchup against Monte Carlo, and how are you going to take the win?
They've been low of the round every round except for the last qualifying pass last night, so they're definitely going to be a tough customer. But, yeah, I got up on the wheel pretty good there because I knew Rice outran us by a little bit, and he's been fast all weekend, too, number 1 qualifier. So, you know, if you're 001 red against a guy like that, it is what it is. Fortunately, he knew I went on a whole shot last round, too, so I think he pushed a little harder than I did. But, yeah, 2 finals in 2 weekends. I mean, hopefully we can get a win this time.
And a couple of powerhouses coming up here in our next pair as well. Chris Powers has been to both of our national event final rounds this year, including a win here. And he'll line up alongside John Montecalvo, who had qualified in the number 3 spot here a couple of weeks ago. Qualified number 2 last night as the drone chases that beautiful John Causey-powered Ford Mustang back to the starting line. Causey-powered and Sunny power. So nice job right there. A couple of opposing engine shops ready to do battle.
And let's give a shout out to Mad Dog. He's our drone operator here this weekend. He's doing an outstanding job. Way to go, Mad Dog.
Man, he's had some incredible shots. All 3 races we've done, that's one of the best shots I've ever seen in drag racing.
Both guys, Mountain Motor Pro Stock world champs. Very good at what they do. Talked about it before. John Montecalvo, 413 on the board. Chris Powers, 415 on the board.
We know Powers' car is way more capable of going quicker than that, too, so it's going to be a close one.
Montecalvo qualifying number 2, Powers qualifying number 3. Just neck and neck. Bulbs are on. Here we go. Big move out of Powers' car right there. He has to chase it. That's going to open up the door for Montecalvo to steal it, and he will. He backs up his 413 with another 413, and 050 light was just a little bit behind by 13th out at the starting line, but Chris Powers had to chase the car down the track.
Yeah, we just stopped by and talked to Chris Powers this morning, and we talked about that exact same thing right there. He said, you know, these cars, you just don't want to make big moves in them. When they don't go straight from the starting line, you've got to lift. And man of his word, the thing went out there, made a move to the right, and he shut it off.
That'll set up Dylan Voss and John Montecalvo for the final round of competition in the Mountain Motor Pro Stock category. Exciting stuff. That'll be coming up here before the day is done. And we'll go back up to the top with Kristen.
John, I just talked about the way you went up and hugged Dylan. Y'all didn't really look like competitors. You look like friends. How's this next matchup going to be?
You know, we're good buddies. We really are. You know, I have a lot of respect for those guys. They do a really awesome job. They're hard workers. They have their own program. Corey worked with me for a while, and he's always in my trailer anyway, you know, and he runs things by my crew chief, and they bounce things off of one another. But we have a lot of respect for that team. The young guys, they're aggressive, and I'm happy for them. I'll be happier if I win, though.
All right, I'm not going to tell anyone. We're not going to tell Dylan. Do you think Corey's going to pull for his old boss or his twin brother?
Well, I don't think that's too much of a discussion. I'd have to say he's going to pull for his brother.
Hey, you never know. You might have been a good boss. That's John Montecalvo. We'll see him in the semis.
Thank you.
Might not get too much help from the crew chief for this round. He can walk over there and ask a question, and I'm sure he'll get an answer.
Yeah.
It might not be the one that's going to help him.
You have to ask the right question.
Yeah.
He won't lie to him. Just got to ask the right question.
It's going to be a great race, and great to see good teammates like that. There's so much camaraderie out there in the pits. That's what we love about the sport. So good stuff, man. We're getting down to the money rounds.
I'm here with John Montecalvo with Beyond the Track. And John, you, or some people might say that you are the last Pro Stock champion. And I want you to tell us a little bit about that season where you did become a champion.
Well, that was 2009, and I remember it very well. Actually, back then, IHRA had this last man standing deal, and whoever was the fastest winner on Saturday night got 5 points. Well, we were at Maryland, and we picked up the 5 points, and it's getting near the end of the season, and Lois Ann's in the car towing back, and we hear clunk, clunk, clunk. What is that? Well, it turned out one of my crew guys forgot to tighten the lug nuts on the car. So luckily I didn't land on my roof, but, he was a great guy, and he always did everything right, but he just happened to not do it right that day. Well, long and short, the reason why I'm saying that is because at the end of the season, we won the championship by 5 points. So we were actually lost, I think it was second round at Rockingham. We're in the trailer, and I'm like, crying in my beer. and all of a sudden, my guys come running in. We won. And turns out that, one of the top contenders, I think it was Pete Burner at the time, got knocked out, and we end up winning the championship. So that was 2009, and that's when this class was probably at one of its strongest points. We had like 25 to 30 cars showing up at every race. I think those days are coming again.
And John, when you heard that the IHRA was coming back, you've been such a champion for this organization. What were some of your first thoughts when you heard about it?
Well, to me, this is our home. This is where the class was born. IHRA and Mountain Motor Pro Stock are synonymous as far as I'm concerned. And I was just overjoyed to hear this. Like I said, we won the championship in 2009. 2010, they stopped running the class. They had a little revival back in 2015 or so, but it was never what it was, And I got to say, pulling into this track feels like how you feel when you pull into Norwalk, Ohio. Yeah. Norwalk, just everybody's happy, everybody's smiling, that nobody does it better than the betas. Well, I'm getting that same feeling here.
That's great. So if somebody maybe has some hesitations to come out and race, what would you tell them?
I would tell them they're missing the boat, man. You got it. And literally missing the boat. I was on the boat at the last race, so we missed that one. But they're definitely missing the boat. I mean, this is the best scenario that I've ever seen. It's just, I don't know how to explain it. It's just the racer comes first over here. And I haven't seen that. I haven't seen racer appreciation like this. I don't think I've ever seen it. Like I said, the betas, they do it right over there. And this reminds me of the old days when Bill Beta ran the organization. He'd be out there with a bow tie on, shaking everybody's hand coming in. Well, everybody in this place has got a smile. Everybody here is doing whatever they can to help you. Every IHRA official has been so polite. It's unbelievable. Look at the spread that Darryl puts on for dinner for us. I mean, that was no catering hall dinner. I'd put that against any restaurant that we go to. He is really going above and beyond. I can't say how much gratitude and how gracious I am for all that he's doing, not only for our class, for the whole sport, and just reviving this IHRA.
And what motivates you to keep getting in the car and coming out here and compete?
I love it over here. Like I said, it's a relaxed atmosphere. But I like that the sessions are back-to-back pro sessions. I think that's great for the fans. I like that we're part of that rotation. We actually feel like a pro class again. I'm overjoyed. This time next year, there'll be 23, 24 Mountain Motor Pro Stocks over here.
All right, John. Well, thank you so much, and good luck this weekend.
Thank you, Kayla.
All right, this is John Montecalvo, who is one of the veteran drag racers in Mountain Motor Pro Stock, and this is Beyond the Finish Line with Kayla Zadell.
Pick up the pace here a bit. For the door cars anyways.
Man, I love that car. That's a great looking Top Sportsman car. I saw that earlier. I thought, this is Top Sportsman car? Just doesn't look like one.
They almost all are absolutely gorgeous, but yeah, you'll love to see the shoebox. 540 cubic inch big block Chevrolet. Vince Gregory helping out with the crew chief duties for Matt Gregory, lined up in the near lane with that beautiful 66. And then Justin Souders out of Louisville, Kentucky with the 69 Chevrolet Camaro. That would be a late model 69 Camaro, purpose-built race car. Spectacular looking hot rod. The quicker of the two is in the far lane. We'll have to be patient here. Major accomplishments for Matt Gregory. A lot of broken parts.
Oh, red light.
And red light, I mean, so here it is. Here's the red light. 0.0006. Red by 6/10,000ths of a second. On the other side, 423 with a 6 on a 424. So no doubt driving it out of the gate, find out exactly what they have to move on into the final round.
How were you able to put this car in the finals?
The car's carried me a long way today. The driver hadn't necessarily been great every round, but the car's been really good.
Hey, the car has been consistent. Now we just need the driver to be a little more consistent in that finals. How are you going to get the win?
We're going to take some numbers out of the lay box and send it and see what happens.
Well, good luck in those finals, and we look forward to seeing you.
Alrighty, thank you.
043 light, by the way. So Justin was there for the taking, really, in this category at this late stage of the race. Mark Claypool coming up here next. And Mike Battier.
Shooting star. Yeah, I saw that too.
We saw that earlier.
Yeah, I thought that's strong. Nope, that was a shooting star.
And Mike Battier, they say. Okay. Out of Michigan. Jerry Haas, Olds Cutlass. And Chris Holbrook building the 632 cubic inch Chevrolet power plant for that one. Says he could not do this without his wife, Debbie. Retired from GM. Racing is what he does. Mark Claypool on the other side, an 050 light. Gets speed up at the starting line. 014 light for Mike, and he puts a 442 on the board on his 438 dial-in.
Yeah, big, huge starting line advantage, and got to back out a little bit at the stripe to make it safe.
Again, the 66 there in the near lane, leaving too early by just 6/10,000ths of a second. And the chute's coming out on the other side for your winner, Justin Souders. And then we go back to this pair here with Mark Claypool trying to win against Mike Battier. And Mike able to grab the win. Let's go to the top.
Mike Battier, you go into this Top Sportsman finals. Walk me through that pass and how it went for you.
Well, it was a good dial in and hit the tree and help with my wife. I couldn't do it. How's it? Good?
Hey, it's always about having the wife there to support you. Now you're going to the finals. What's it going to take for you to walk away with that Ironman?
Luck.
Well, you have your wife, right? Yep. Wife, luck, good car. Hopefully we'll see Mike later. Yep. Well, we will see you later. Maybe.
2 weeks ago, so maybe I'll get it this time.
Hey, runner up. Hopefully we'll take home that Ironman.
So to the final round they go. Top Sportsman, the money round. Do you breathe? You said you breathe easy once you get this far.
Getting past first round helps a lot. You know, once you get that first one out of the way, and then things start to flow, and the confidence starts to build as the day goes along, and then you can start feeling it.
Trophy girl.
Yeah, they're getting ready to head to the top end of the racetrack. Be handed out here shortly. So, we're getting the right time of the day when the trophies are headed to the top end.
Yeah, and that big check going right with it.
Yeah.
Stay with us. We'll be back with more action here at the IHRA.
Welcome back to Durana Dragway. We're here in Milan, Michigan, and we are ready to get back to the racing action on the 8th mile.
Dial-ins will be pretty close here. Once again, Justin Souders with the quicker of the two cars in the far lane with a 4:23 as we bring up the ladder, show you how they made it down to the finals. And Mike Badia lined up in the near lane with a 4:38 dial-in. Data Dave doing his tricks over here, was able to dig that car up, that 1996 Olds Cutlass, formerly driven by Larry Perkins, and actually went to the finals in comp a couple of times, winning at Englishtown back in 1996. So pretty cool history there for that car, and it's still out here getting it done. That is the Jerry Haas Olds Cutlass. Jerry Haas built Olds Cutlass in the near lane. We talked about Chris Holbrook building the 632 cubic inch Chevrolet power plant, the side of that one. 632 cubic inch big block Chevy as well for Justin Souders.
Mike, runner-up here just 2 weeks ago in Top Sportsman, and he'd love nothing more to get to get that win tonight.
Back-to-back events. Pretty cool. Look at that thing, man. Shades of Warren Johnson.
Sometimes, Tommy, those bars just have a lot of magic built into them, don't they?
Yes, they do.
Great battle here. We would expect nothing less than 0:15 light for Mike Badia, but the reaction time will not get him there. He runs a 43 on a 38, and it goes to the other side. Justin Souders, 0:25 light, runs a 25 on a 23, so plus 0.25, and gets the win here by 15 thou. Back-to-back finals, still really good. You know you want to take home the spoils.
Yeah, absolutely. You know he wanted that one bad and just come up a little bit short. The car, looks like the car might have fallen off a little bit, just didn't quite run the number what he thought it would, and Justin taking the win.
You told me that the driver needed to be better. What did you do right to take home this Ironman?
I'm not sure. I don't even know what I was on the tree, but we got the win, so that's all that matters at the end of the day.
Hey, it was a great reaction time. Had to have been to take home that win. What are you feeling right now? I think it was a .025. You happy with that?
Yeah, that's decent. I just want to say thanks to my mom, my grandparents, my family, my wife at home, and my kids, Ava, Caroline, and Athena. Can't wait to bring the trophy home to you guys.
Well, congratulations, and he is coming home with that trophy, guys.
Thanks a lot, Kristen. We appreciate that.
Here's the big bad banana.
And time now for the big stump pullers as we go to Mountain Motor Pro Stock. Dylan Voss, the first one to do the burnout, followed up by John Montecalvo. Montecalvo with a tough race against Chris Powers, able to get the win on that one. Powers really driving the car, just not able to keep it under power all the way through. And then Dwayne Rice, who was our #1 qualifier, such a good car. He and Dylan Voss squared off, and Dylan Voss got the better of him.
Yeah, Montecalvo's had the performance advantage all day, but Dylan Voss, he's been killing the Christmas tree. Won on a whole shot first round. Dwayne Rice went red on him.
Right.
He had a killer light again. So Monty's going to have to be on his game if he's going to do this, because Dylan Voss, his car's running good, but he is running better.
Going to take a lot to rattle John Montecalvo. Nobody, and I mean nobody, has raced more Mountain Motor Pro Stock races in the history of the last 35 years, and he's about to do another one right now.
3,500's advantage in the previous round for Montecalvo at the stripe. We'll see if Voss can pick up that ET and maintain those reaction times. We'll find out what goes here. Both are very, very capable. This one could go either way. And both great friends. The final in Mountain Motor Pro Stock. Oh!
Timed out.
Oh, man.
016 light for Dylan Voss. Goes 484 at 172.
So, Tommy.
And John shuts his off.
Tommy, the fans at home are sitting there thinking, okay, Shaheen, you just got done telling me nobody's run more races than this guy in 35 years, but then how do you make a mistake like that?
You know, I watched him earlier the round before, and he took quite a bit. I was getting nervous then. I thought, man, put it in. You're about to be timed out. And sitting here watching that, I'm like, man, come on. Once the second bulb goes on, the pre-stages are on. Once one driver lights the second bulb, there's a timer of 7 seconds. You have 7 seconds to light your bulb, which seems like forever, but it goes by so fast on the starting line, and just didn't get it in there, and he timed himself out.
And we'll go up to Kristen.
Dylan Voss, Mountain Motor Pro Stock champion. You're taking home an Ironman. Now the name of the game is consistency. How were you consistent this weekend?
You know, I was just confident. Man, I'm trying to get emotional. We've been to 6 final rounds, and we finally got one done here. Dude, my brother, my dad, my uncle, they work their asses off at the shop week in and week out to make sure this car runs the way it does. And I fly in and I drive it, and I get the good job. But man, it's a good feeling. I didn't want to win against Monty that way. Great group of guys over there. I love that team to death. Great family, great team. Man, we did it. I got to thank, Cobble Enterprises, Liquid Moly, Voss Racing Engines, Voss Wheelie Bars, Redmond Builders, Wright Trailers. This one's for you guys. I lost my grandparents about 2 years ago now, and we haven't been able to win one since we lost them, so this is for them.
That's a special win. I can't wait to see you celebrate with your team. Everyone's going to be really excited. That's Dylan Voss. Hey, you're taking home that $15,000 too. That's got to be pretty nice.
Thank you, guys.
That'll wrap things up from here at Dorana Dragway with the IHRA. For Kayla, Sarah, Kristen, TJ, and Ken, I'm Ralph Shaheen. Thanks for watching. We'll see you next time with the IHRA.